Welcome everyone back to Pommy and All's. Hope we're all doing absolutely awesome. If you are new around here, smash that like button, smash that subscribe. We've just hit 2,800, which is absolutely amazing. 200 to go for that really ambitious goal we had mid-year. We changed tacks. It was 2,500 at the start. However, here we are. So we are trying to get 3,000. So if you can help us out, let me know. And just to hit that like button, it is free of charge. And we're doing the second day wrap of the trade period. And this one was a little more exciting in the terms of player movement, but a bit boring. The AFL really struggle to get this one going, don't they? But let's have a look. Very interesting for Bluebaggers, though, like myself. And we start off with that. Blake Acres finally made his way across to Icon Park for a future third. And I think it's fair to say, I think everyone in chat would say that this is hella unders. It suits what Carlton are trying to do. They need a predominant winger. They've lost Jack Noons, and you would say that this guy, without being nasty to him, is a good Jack Noons. Like, Jack Noons was serviceable, but Blake Acres incredibly hard-working, suits the Vossi philosophy in the terms of that he runs incredibly hard both ways. Decent turn of pace. Not the world's worst kicking efficiency as well. Not the world's worst meters gained. He's a very above steady, is the way I'd describe him. Above steady, which maybe isn't the most exciting definition of a footballer. But I think it's very important that what you're looking at here is someone that, in my opinion, I'm excited about. Like, elite kicking efficiency. Do you know what I mean? Handball's a little bit touch and go. I think he gets himself into trouble with that, if I'm all honest. But his kicking turns me on. Very good inside 50s and rebound 50s. Works hard both ways. Doesn't know what contested possessions are, which is really important because Carlton's wingers do not keep their width at times. And this guy does. And the one that excites me is the 6 marks. Carlton's transition from the wing patterns is woeful at times. So he's definitely going to help with that. Decent deal all round. I'd imagine Fremantle would be a little bit pissed, though. I'd probably expect more for a guy that's played that games. But I don't make the AFL rules. I don't think value should ascertain contract length at all. I think there is a lot more fair mediums because I think that restricts sides with good list management. So there we are. Blake Acres is a blue. Let me know in the comments, do you like that one? I'm a big fan, to be honest. Then Daniel McStay made his way over to Collingwood. Compensation pick 35 going to Brisbane when the AFL just make one. Back-end second rounder for Dan McStay. That is an absolute huge dub, in my opinion, for Brisbane. Daniel McStay, well, let's first of all, for Brisbane, they don't need him, right? So if we're judging him as a Brisbane footballer, it's not a required player, right? And I think there can't be anyone in chat who's going to be like, oh, no, we wanted him. Won't be. June next year, he's 28, right? So he's coming up to the best parts of his year. Now, always averaged just below average for a goal kicker. There's talk they're going to play him as a defender, which makes no sense to me, if I'm honest, because there's nothing that alludes to him being a good defender. Do you know what I mean? The 5 marks a game is what I'd expect every forward in the AFL to get. But I do think they need a target forward, and I'll give McStay that. He holds his ground well, very good body-wise. Do you know what I mean? I think he's maybe be overshadowed? Who knows? Whatever I'm trying to say is, I think at Brisbane, he's not the key pillar. And I think at Collingwood, he's going to be. Because Myercheck, I think he does his best work up the ground. I think he's exceptionally mobile. He's a bit undersized for his position. So I think that this allows him to do that. And I do think that Myercheck has been a hell of a lot more deadly when you've got the likes of Ash Johnson and Ollie Henry popping in with Darcy Cameron loitering at full forward on Mason Cox. So it allows him to do that. And with them presumably losing Ollie Henry, so it's a good bit of business, this, because it won't. Do you know what I mean? The only question mark I've got is the contract length at 5 years, because that takes him to 33. And I would say that, in my honest opinion, I don't mind you tying players up. I think when you know, so like in Carlton's case, Harry Mackay, I don't think there can be any Collingwood fan with a brain that says you wouldn't tie a player up of that caliber. Like Brodie Grundy, it's ended badly, but at the time, he was arguably the best ruckman in the comp. Do you know what I mean? He was up there. It was touch and go. It was like, do you know what I mean? What do you prefer, long air or no air, when you go between Max Gawn? I just think it presents a risk. I understand for McStay, he's coming to Victoria, moving from Queensland. That's a good bit of business for him. I just would say that Collingwood could probably find this player in a year or two, particularly, you know, with their draft picks. They could maybe go after a Jefferson, who I think is skyrocketing. But I would say with Ollie Henry going, it's probably a good bit of business and it gives them doing it. So I don't mind it. I know people are going to come at Collingwood for it. Personally, I'm not. I think it's a good bit of business. It's exactly what they need. I just question that when they've gone through very public list management issues. Is that the right way forward? But they're obviously confident in him. So it'd be exciting to see, won't it? Let's be honest. The other bit of Carlton relevant news, Liam Jones, worst kept secret in the AFL, made his way back to the Doggies, and it turns out to be compensation pick 49. Now, compensation pick 49 doesn't exactly turn you on, and it doesn't turn me on, but this is the position in the 40s where, you know, there is certain players that could float your boat. There's a few players there that Carlton may have a list at. You know, Jake Walker's around there. Noah Long could go down there. There's a few players that, you know, Carlton can take a speculative pick, particularly when you look at Carlton and you think that they need them smaller, wispy players. Really, that's where you're looking for them. And probably an inside mid, do you know what I mean, could come in. And Carlton know that they've got to lean on him because they've got a very efficient midfield. So that could be the thinking there. Liam Jones, obvious for the Doggies. 3-year deal, though, again. Not a fan of them, I'll be honest. But each to their own. Jonesy, it's good to have him back in the EPL, in the AFL, though. So good to see him back. He'll go well for them, exactly what they need. Alex Keefe will be rubbing his hands with glee. Do love a bit of Jonesy, so good luck to him. That's all I'll say. That's nice. And then we had a pick swap. You know what I mean? It's not the most exciting thing, is it, we've ever seen, but we did have a pick swap, and that'll be a very interesting one there. That would allude to me that Port have got their eye on someone in that thing, which it makes sense. Do you know what I mean? Like Mitch Salbowski will be there. Do you know what I mean? You'd imagine players of that ilk will be there. Max Krasuski, Jacob Ryan screams at me there. One of the Ryan boys could scream there. Do you know what I mean? But that'll be an interesting one. For Melbourne, it gives them depth, and it looks like they're losing a few fringe players, doesn't it? So makes total sense, that one for me. That's not a really exciting trade, but that is a logical trade. But that is the AFL Day 2. I'll be back tomorrow with Day 3. Let me know how your team's going on. Is there any ones that you're trying to hope to get through today for me to talk about tomorrow? Let me know in the comments. And until next time, love you all. I'm out.